In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I created this field set component in React. You can see when multiple of the checkboxes are unchecked that the select all checkbox becomes unselected. You can click the select all to select all of them and same to unselect. And if only a few of them are checked, then we have the dash to show that only some of them are checked. Let's dive into the code and see what's up. So here on the right hand side, we have the page, which is what I showed you. We have our field set component, which is 100% custom made, and it takes a few different inputs. One of them is checkbox's initial state, and this takes in an object. We have that object defined here as a constant, and we can see that this is an object because of the curly brackets here, and we just have checkbox 1, 2, and 3, and these are all set to the Boolean value of true. These can also be changed to false or whatever you want, either just true or false. So this value is being passed into our field set component right here. Next, we have our onUpdate component. This one takes a function, and our function right here simply just logs the boxes or the checkboxes to the console. So you can see that on this page that that's what that line of code is doing, is it's just giving us this log in our developer console. And so here we have true, 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 and that's because all of them are true. Now we can see that one value is false. Let's go back to the code. And we also have the title. If you want to, you can take away any of these values. And when we go back here and refresh the page, you can see that we have a blank field set. So this component is quite resilient, which is pretty nice. And also we can change this to a new title, for example, and that title is now changed. I'm going to refresh the page so that it loads in those checkboxes again there. Okay, perfect. So now let's look at this new field set component. On the left hand side here, we can see all the props that it takes right here. We also use the spread operator, which makes it so we can pass any other props to the field set, which we have set up right here. So for example, if we were to say on click, which is a normal React event handler right here, then this function is called whenever our field set is clicked. See right here, clicked. And so that's a nice way of making this component dynamic. At the top right here, we use state from React to load in our initial checkboxes state, which like I said before, we're passing in on this page. So we're passing it down into the new field set, which is a child of the page right here. And then we have use ref for the select all reference. This is how we can change the checkbox value from checked to this indeterminate state right here. And so that's how you change that right here, is you can use the select all ref .current .indeterminate, and this takes a Boolean value, and I'm just doing a conditional statement of saying either, or it's saying that not all of them are checked and not all of them are unchecked, but both of these have to be true for this to be true. Otherwise, it is making this value false. So that is what we have here. And this is just what I use to make sure that all the values in the checkboxes are either true or false. And I just use this .every function right here, and we pass in Boolean for the argument here, because we're wanting to make sure that we have a true value. And in here we're having it say every value is false. So that's what we're doing right here. And then if we scroll down further, we have handle select all change. And so this fires whenever our select all button is checked right here. And so we use the reduce function to change all of the checkbox values to either true or false, depending if all of them are either checked or unchecked. And then we set our checkboxes state, which we have defined up here, to have all those values which are now set to either true or false. Then we have a use effect down here, which is always watching the checkboxes state for changes. And so whenever there's a change, or whenever one of these checkboxes are unchecked or checked again, the function inside of the use effect fires, which is on update. And this is sort of like a callback function. And so we pass our checkboxes state to it, and that's how we log the checkboxes state on our page. So that's quite nice. And we have this one statement here which helps us reduce the values being passed to the page, because if we didn't have this, then when we reloaded the page, we would have it log right here. But with that line in place, we have it so that it only logs when we want it to. Moving down into the return statement where we have our HTML elements, you can see we have the field set, which for the longest time I didn't even know existed. I feel like it's more of an older element. And then inside that we have a legend, and inside that we have our input, which is the checkbox. This input box up here is for our title, so that would be this checkbox up here. And you can see that we have our title right here, or it will say select all if there is no title provided. So that makes it so we can remove this title, and then it will use select all instead. Right here is where we define our reference, and so that is where we pass our select all ref to the object. And then we have our on change, which handles the select all change, which effectively just selects and changes all the checkboxes to either true or false. You can see in this checked value right here, we're just calculating this within the value. You can see with the checked value, we're calculating it within the property itself. And so here we're saying if every checkbox is true and the values have a length greater than 0, then we will have it be checked. Down here we're using object.entries, which we pass our checkboxes object to. And so that gives us both the checkbox title, or the name of the checkbox, and the Boolean value, which is either true or false. And then we have the index of the map, which means that, for example, this checkbox here would be 0, this checkbox would be 1, and this checkbox would be 2, since the mapping over arrays is 0 based. So that's how that works. Then we have a div, and we pass the key of the value of index, and that just makes it so it displays properly, and React is able to know in what order to display the results here. And then we have a label again with the input and the name of the checkbox down here. Whenever this checkbox or any of the checkboxes are changed, it triggers the handle checkbox change function, which we already mentioned in the beginning of this video, which simply updates the checkboxes in the state. You can see for the checked value, we're currently passing the value just from the map right here. and we have the ID that we're passing, which is just the name of the checkbox. And that's really all it takes to create this field set, which is pretty nice and works really well, as you can see. And this is primarily going to be used for filtering data. And I'm really excited to be able to use this in my application I'm building. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have any comments, suggestions, or anything like that, feel free to let me know. And hope you have a great day. Bye.